Hola, we're talking about forming questions today. You feel free to take notes. In fact, you should take notes over this, and if you need to pause to write down the examples, you can do that as well. So there's two ways we can form questions in Spanish. One you've probably seen a lot already. We switch the order of the subject and the verb. Sometimes we can even put it at the end of the sentence. So the purple here, that is the statement already. So here's the statement. Ustedes trabajan los sábados. You all work on Saturdays. That's not a question yet. But when we want to make it to a question, we now have flip-flopped trabajan and ustedes. Now we use it after the verb. Trabajan ustedes los sábados. Do you all work on Saturdays? So by flip-flopping, I get that implied word do. I don't need a special word for do. It's just implied. So I'm really asking, you all work Saturdays? The do is implied. Another example here is Carlota regresa a las 6. So Carlota returns at 6. That's the word order I'm used to in English. Now, for the question, I actually took Carlota, put it all the way at the end, and had regresa at the beginning. So regresa a las 6 Carlota. Does Carlota return at 6? Again, this does right here, that is implied. I don't need an extra word for that. So the first way to form a question, flip-flop the subject and the verb. This is what most native speakers will do, but another way that's pretty commonly used is by adding no or verdad at the end of the statement. So again, in purple, here's our statement. Ustedes trabajan los sábados. Same one as before. You all work on Saturdays. When I go to write the question, I have all the same word order. Ustedes trabajan los sábados. But all I did was put what at the end? No. It's like saying, right? Don't you? No? So, you all work on Saturdays. Don't you? That no is the don't you. See the same sentence again. Carlota regresa a las 6. Carlota returns at 6. Just our statement, nothing new there. But in the question, I added verdad at the end. Carlota regresa a las 6. What's new? Verdad. Carlota returns at 6, right? So just by putting that little question on the end, it turns the statement into a question. So if you can't always remember how to flip-flop, this is something you could do. Notice where you put the question marks. It's not around the whole thing. It's just around the word no or verdad.